everyone, welcome back to On the Fly to our Day 7 review of the World Women's Championship, currently happening in Alberta, Canada. Once again, another big tournament for the women's game. The kind of the final tune-up before the Olympics is always a big deal, so definitely one to watch. So today's day did bring about 3 games. So the first game was between Finland and Switzerland. So really a nothing game in terms of the actual standings. One of the games they had to play, and really no result would have changed. Obviously, Switzerland could have moved up because they lost to Russia, and then Finland couldn't move up because just the points didn't work. So Finland did end up winning, sort of a blowout fashion kind of game, 6-0. Really dominated from start to finish, pun intended. But overall, was a sort of a good game for Finland, and Switzerland just kind of being overpowered in terms of their team, trying to hold on as much as they can. Didn't end up working out. Finland wins 6-0. Game 2 of the day, one of my favorite games to see, U.S. versus Canada. Obviously, Canada did win 5-1, pounced on the U.S. early, completely dominated in the first, kept their foot on the pedal in the second, kind of let up in the third, but by that point, it didn't matter, and really, overall, just a great game from the Canadians. I was very happy to see them finally beat the U.S. First time in a very long time to see them win, so I do want to see them carry it through and eventually beat them, hopefully in the gold medal game, which I do predict will be the finals. And then finally, the third game of the day, the kind of the deciding game in Group B, was between Japan and Germany. So Japan did end up winning 2-1. Which placed them second in the Group B division. So this was a big win for Japan. More for the moral side, and emotional side, kind of getting that win against Germany is a big step for them, and really just getting some momentum going into the playoffs. The quarterfinals are tomorrow, so it will be interesting to see how they end up faring, especially being a solid team. In Japan, if they can get carried by their goaltender, definitely do have a shot, although they do have to face the U.S. So will be interesting to see how they end up doing, and because of that, we will see kind of where they end up going. Same with Germany having to face Canada. I think they have a shot, they always do, but in the end, that's the unfortunate part about the Group B and the Group A standings, is that if you're second or third in Group B, you got to play Canada, U.S., sort of the bottom line. So take a look at the final standings of the round robin play. So Canada in first with 12 points, U.S. with 9, Finland with 6, Russia with 3, and then Switzerland coming up the rear with 0. And then for Group B, 12 points for Czechs, 9 points for Japan, 6 points for Germany, 3 points for Hungary, and then 0 points for Denmark. So really solid showing for most of these teams. Denmark, obviously the lone wolf, being 10th place overall because of how the way the standings work, and then 9th would fall to Hungary. So overall, it will be interesting to see how these quarterfinals go, what kind of surprises there will be, but we will now recap that with the upcoming games for tomorrow. So the first game of the day is between Russia and Switzerland, the Group A, 4 versus 5. So I think the winner of this game by far will be Russia. They already did end up winning, and then with the recent subtraction of Alina Mueller for the Swiss due to injury, I think it really will be a kind of a blowout for Russia. I don't see Switzerland winning unless something else happens in the game, or Russia can't get out of the box. But in the end, I think Russia will be the pretty safe bet for Game 1 of the day. Game 2 is between USA and Japan, coming up at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I think the winner of this game will be the U.S. The U.S. of A will most likely dominate. I'd be surprised if they don't. Even more so than the Russia-Switzerland game. The comparison really isn't there for Japan and the U.S. U.S. should clean them pretty handedly. I'd be surprised if they don't. And then similar with the next game between the Canadians and Germany coming up prime time, 7 o'clock. I gotta say Canada will be the favorites to win this game. If they don't, I will be quite unhappy. But it will be interesting to see if the Germans can put up a real fight. I think this will be sort of the second most upset. The one upset that I do see will be the Czechs over Finland. But I'm going to go with Finland. I think by far it looks as if Finland's the better team as of now. although, of course, the Czechs coming out from Group B will be interesting to see how they fare, especially because the group you've only seen Group A play Group A. Finland hasn't looked that great with good teams. I mean, they played Russia, they played Switzerland, they beat them both, but as soon as they play the US or Canada, they look like a different team, much inferior. So I'll be curious to see what the Czechs do when they're playing a solid team. A lot of the Group B teams don't really match up to the Group A teams. So definitely will be interesting to see how Finland matches up. I think that will be the upset game. If there is one, I think the Czechs definitely have a shot with Finland, but that still remains to be seen. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. If you'd like to drop a like for your likes, consider subscribing, tell all your friends, and leave a comment down below your thoughts on Day 7 of the World Women's Championship. Until next time, see ya.